A state of emergency was declared on Sunday in the Northern Ontario First Nation of Attawapiskat. Now, tests show that the tap water contains potentially harmful levels of chemicals, which are actually a byproduct of the process used to disinfect the water. Now, the supply of drinking water is still considered safe, but there are concerns over the water quality, and it's always top of mind in this community. So when Environment Minister Catherine McKenna tweeted this out, take a look at this, touting Ottawa's water supply as being among the best in the world, there was some reaction, and some accustomed to having to think twice before drinking the local water. One of them, Adrian Sutherland, he's a musician and frontman for Midnight Shine, and he's also a resident of Attawapiskat. Back there now and today after doing some tours, and that's where we reached him this morning. So let's start off first. What was it about the minister's tweet that drew your attention?
Well, I think it was a day after that I ended up discovering the tweet on Twitter. I was going through some of the tweets on Twitter, and it was over breakfast, and I read the tweet she put out about how, I guess, cheering on how clean the water is in Ottawa, amongst some of the cleanest in the world. And it just really, really bothered me sitting there knowing that the day before we had just been told not to bathe more than 3 minutes in the water, not to rinse our food in the water, not even to breathe the vapors coming from the tap water. It just really bothered me because, I was very concerned for my family after receiving information from the leadership in the community. And I just felt like that wasn't something the minister should be very proud of, knowing that there are thousands of Indigenous people in the country that don't have access to clean drinking water or even water to bathe in.
Now this, let's just explain to viewers, this is the water out of your tap because you have a separate place that you have to go get your drinking water.
Yes, that's correct. There's the system that we have coming from our tap is from the water treatment facility, and that's the system that's contaminated. And there's a separate system that is hooked up to that comes from the water treatment, the two dispensaries actually in the community that are reverse osmosis, and they're filtered again. So the tap water gets filtered through those systems for drinking water. However, there are traces of this contaminant in that water, I'm told, and they're continuing to rise. And however, they're saying that it's still below the threshold and it's still safe to drink.
So that water you go get in your jugs is still safe to drink, but the water coming out of your tap is not safe. And let me just show viewers what you tweeted in response to the Environment Minister's tweet earlier on Sunday. You say Ottawa's real proud of having the cleanest drinking water in the world. Meanwhile, where I live, the water is contaminated. A striking image, really, of yourself wearing that mask in that tweet. So what's the message you want to send?
Well, I think this is a serious issue, and it's been an issue that we've had to live with for decades. Our issues go back to 2001, and we've never had clean drinking water from our taps since day one. We actually just got running water late 90s and into the early 2000s, and it's just been an ongoing issue. I don't understand why it can't be addressed or why it can't be fixed. And I think we, as Indigenous people, we've become so tolerant, and I don't know. I just don't understand why it's acceptable in the government officials and politicians' minds.
Now, sorry, Adrian, can you explain to Canadians, so this tap water that you have to leave, they're asking you to leave a window open when you shower. Is that one of the requests?
Yeah, not to use hot water as well, because it opens the pores and then it allows the contaminant to enter your body. So I don't know if you've taken a cold shower. I don't I don't find that very enjoyable. I mean, The other issue is like you got to rinse vegetables for pesticides. And my wife was like, well, what's more dangerous, pesticides or our water, as we were preparing supper the other day? And I was like, I don't know. To be honest, that's a good question.
So there's those types of things. Are they telling you anything else that you're supposed to be doing with your tap water?
No, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, you can't boil it because it's not bacterial; it's a chemical. So boiling is pointless. You can do some extra filtering, like a Brita. If you do have a filtration hooked up to your home, that will help. But they're still saying that there's no filtration that can actually filter out the contaminant, from what I understand, anyway.
So the problem, too, is the temperature of the water when you shower, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying not to use the hot water, or because of the water opens up the pores in the body, the hot water. It's pretty impossible. I mean, you got to bathe your kids and your children and babies. Like, you can't bathe them in cold water.
This isn't a new problem for Attawapiskat, is it?
No, like I said, it goes back decades, and a lot of First Nation communities didn't have running water at all up until the late 90s and 2000s, especially the remote flying communities in the north.
And I want to tell you what a spokesperson for Indigenous Services Minister had to say, that there's a health official would be traveling to the community as early as next week. There's also a technical team that's being set up to deal with the community's concerns. What are your thoughts on that, and what would you like to see happen next?
Well, I mean, I would like to see a commitment from the feds to address the water treatment facility. It's been on their table now for several years, since 2001, and there have been studies done for a new source for the community. But it's going to cost, I'm told, $9 million for a new facility because of the different chemistry of the water, the new water source. So I would like to see some kind of a commitment. In order for me to continue living here, we have to have access to clean water, and especially water to bathe and rinse your food and whatnot.
Are they saying how long this could potentially last?
No, I haven't heard anything yet. We had the one emergency town meeting last week on Friday. There have been subsequent meetings, but we haven't been privy to any of the information being discussed in those meetings yet.
Are they planning on sharing the information with the residents soon, do you think?
Oh, I'm sure they will. We're all waiting to hear what the plan is here, and is there a plan moving forward? And it sounds like we do got the attention of government officials, which is a positive step, and it's a move in the right direction.
Adrian Sutherland, I want to thank you for taking the time today to speak with us on this very important issue.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
That's musician and resident of Attawapiskat, Adrian Sutherland, in Attawapiskat.